What's up, guys? Wanted to talk to you today about technique and why technique is so important. I'm going to go at a different angle though. I'm not going to go for the obvious reason. The obvious reason is especially at the high level, but any level, it boils down to technique as far as being able to implement your game plan, land your attacks, defend your attacks. Technique is everything in fighting. Obviously combined with other things, conditioning, strength, physical attributes, all of that. But technique is so important for another reason I don't think a lot of people talk about is for injury prevention. Like when you have bad technique on certain moves that you're doing repetitively, like just constant drilling, and you're doing wrong technique, long term you can really injure your body. Like one example is kicking. If you're not pivoting a lot on the ball, if you're not pivoting more on the ball of your foot, and you're using your heel more, and you're not kicking with the right technique over a long time period, I've seen people have knee problems. I've been in this game a while now, and you see injuries, you experience injuries, and I think looking back on it, a lot of my injuries were because of bad technique as well. I overtrained. I did have a habit of overtraining too much and training too hard. But technique is important, guys. I remember a good story. I remember years ago I had this Muay Thai coach, and there was a kid in practice, and he was a good pro fighter. He was pretty good, and he would like throw his hook, and he would slap his hook, like really bad technique. He wasn't turning his shoulder over. He was like just basically slapping a hook. And I remember the coach told him, it was crazy how good I remember this. I remember he said if you keep throwing hooks like that, in 5 years you're gonna be having surgery on your shoulder. And fast forward, like I swear, I don't even know, it was about 4 or 5 years. The kid ended up having to have surgery on his shoulder, and maybe that didn't cause it, maybe it did. I don't know, but it sure seemed like it did. And I've seen people come into martial arts and have bad technique, and they end up, there are certain injuries are more likely to them. Rotator cuff, like labrum tears and stuff. A lot of that can be from bad technique. But guys, martial arts, you're going to get injured a lot in martial arts. If you train for a long time period, you're 100% going to get injured. So definitely make sure that you're doing stuff with the right technique, not just to win and not just to be the best fighter. Obviously that's important, but just to avoid injuries in general, you really want to make sure you're doing techniques right. If you're doing a wrestling move and you're lifting someone up, you need to make sure your position is right, so you don't have you don't hurt your back over a long time period. If you're doing a double leg takedown, you're shooting, you need to make sure your knees landing the right way, that way you don't injure your knee. There's a lot of injuries in martial arts, and quite a few of them can be avoided with proper technique. So make sure you're focusing on the details of the technique, not just to be a great fighter, but to avoid injuries. Something to think about, guys. If you're trying to start your martial arts journey, you can get my book. The link is in the description below. The Ultimate Guide to Choosing Your Martial Arts School Instructor. Check it out on Amazon, $4.99, very cheap. Let me know what you think, and if you're looking for a gym, that's a good guide for you to start on picking a gym and making sure you're getting the right training, and not training in a McDojo. You're not learning bad technique. It just gives you a good guide to enter into your martial arts journey. All right, guys. If you have any questions or any videos you'd like me to go over, just let me know. Leave it in the comments.